and we'll get started here. All right, so we're starting off our final week tomorrow. Any thoughts about the past week? Pros, cons, difficulties, major challenges, anything anybody wants to share tonight? Start off with? Go ahead, Ed. Break the ice, Ed. Go ahead.
Challenge of getting older. I still want to opt out of birthdays.
Ed had a birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
You had a good birthday, Ed.
It was a great birthday. Yeah.
Didn't need it.
Well, we don't count the numbers anymore. We just have birthday parties and have fun.
Right. Hey, that's the way to do it.
That's right. So that's a healthy way to do it. So
Yeah.
anyway, any other challenges? Well, I could say for his age, he's doing pretty darn good. So looking good. Probably as healthy as he's been probably your whole life. Well, no, he was fitness trained when he was in the Navy.
Yeah.
So he's back to his Navy fighting
Wait.
Navy fighting weight here.
Okay.
The early years of his Navy fighting weight, not the later years.
Lean, mean, fighting machine.
Absolutely, yes.
Maybe come and sign him up again.
Yeah, he'd probably take him, except his eyes. He'd have to get somebody. They have to enlist Sammy too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they just put him on shore duty.
yeah, I don't think it's kind of dangerous on those ships. So anyway, any other challenges, issues anybody had this week? Everybody's doing good with the waters.
I had a lot of issues this week.
Yeah, what's going on? Anything you want to share, or just?
Well, we got some really bad news in the family, and my younger sister, who's 14 younger than I am, was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Oh,
It's a very aggressive form. So, all those things, stop, challenge, choose, and all those habits and stuff are kind of like, I'm trying to hold on to them, but at the same time, trying to take this all in and try to be there for my family. And so it's been very, very difficult this week.
yeah, it can be. It's times like this you may use some of those, stress relief and the relaxation things as well to help
Doing
you get through it.
meditation, breathing, and
Exactly.
all of that, because it's just,
It's hard, and you've got to be the strong one for them, and you're
the
dealing with
problem is
well.
they're in North Carolina, I'm here in Florida, so
yeah.
the distance is even harder. And now my mom, she's having to do a lot trying to keep my sister focused on what she needs to get done, and help her through some of the decision making. But I see that it's putting stress on my mother too.
Yeah, of course.
And so her blood pressure is a little out of whack, and she's 76. So anyway, I'm just trying to keep it all together and keep drinking my water and breathing, doing stress stuff. I'm appetite enough, though. I haven't really wanted to really eat, so that's the issue.
A challenge. Yeah.
Right.
You have to think of it this way, in order to be strong for them, you have to keep your energy level up too. So that's why it's even more important for you to stick with those every 2 to 3 hour
Right.
routines and stuff. So you have to think of it that way. You need to be strong for them. So keep your health.
There hasn't been a whole lot of time to think, oh, I need to have a snack. It's been 2 hours or whatever, So,
Yeah, we'll keep you in our prayers and thoughts and everything, but and your sister as well. So
keep my
like Sharon joined as well. Or she was. We just lost her. Anyway. Okay. Anybody else? Any other comments? Jen, I know, has been dealing with the challenges of the cold and being outside shoveling and all those extra neat exercises, which has been good. Kind of like I want to use tonight is kind of not necessarily summing up, but kind of just reviewing just a little bit of the habits of health, because we haven't gotten through next week, and then we're going to go into some more things next week as well. But to kind of summarize, kind of what we've done, one of the things was the reading that we had even today, where they talk about mastering the habits of health. And that's what's key here. I mean, this 6-week challenge was basically to introduce people. I mean, I know some of you were on it before and it helped you then, but I know that Christmas came in there and dealing with those stress issues. But now I felt, you feel that since those that were in it before and did it again this time, I don't know, do you feel like this impacted on you more, that it really hit home and that you feel stronger with your challenges than you did before? Or Cheryl, do you have a comment about that?
I do.
Okay, so
I feel better about, knowing what to eat and knowing when to eat it and snacks. I like eating this way.
it becomes, like it basically said, it becomes a habit. You
Yeah.
lose those bad habits and you get new, better habits.
Right.
And it's just as hard to lose good habits as it is to lose bad habits. So that's why, it's the constant reinforcement. So these 6 weeks, that those that are new to this is basically an introduction. You're just getting into some changes. So when the 6 weeks are over, it doesn't mean, okay, well, I'm back to the way I was before, because it doesn't matter anymore because I'm off the 6 weeks. I only needed to lose 6%, and I read all the things, so I learned everything, so I don't need to practice it anymore because I know it. Well, it doesn't work that way. It's basically, in order to change and get good habits, is you have to continue to work with the habits that you are learning now. So basically, you're mastering those good habits. You did the readings, and they were just splurts of things. What you need to do is continue to read things. Go on the internet, find out healthy eating. I gave you a reference on Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health, because what he put on the 6-week challenge is basically just skimming off the top of his book. His book is excellent. It's a good resource if you really plan on getting and learning the habits of health and incorporating it into your life. It's a great resource. But there's plenty of other resources out there. But be careful, because there's a lot of, and I use the word diets, there's a lot of diets out there, and if you research it enough, you're going to find that the donut diet is just as good as the healthy diet. If enough people are put in a study and they come out with positive results, guess what? It's a study, and it's reputable if enough people talk about it. So it doesn't mean it's good. It just means that it's reported. So be careful what you read on the internet. Do your research, but be educated in your research too, in that you have to realize, okay, what am I looking at and what am I learning here? And is this really a legitimate, way of eating? Stay away from the diet thing. Okay, thank you, Sharon. Are you on the phone also? Were you having trouble with is this you on the phone?
Yeah, it's me on the phone.
Okay, I figured you maybe had trouble.
Audio to play.
That's okay. That's okay. We're talking about mastering habits of health. Oh, hold on one second. Yes, we are. John says nobody's on the call. Somebody's trying to call in. Yes, we are. Anyway. We're talking about mastering the habits of health, and again, I talk to people about going on from the 6-week challenge, and again, learning and keep studying and reviewing things that are the healthy way of eating. I recommended getting Dr. Anderson's book as a suggested resource. But then after you get past the studying part, you don't just study it and read it and think, okay, well, I studied and read it, it's going to happen. It doesn't happen until you do it. Because if you don't keep doing it and practicing, just because you read the habits of health doesn't mean you're going to get healthy. You actually have to incorporate it into your life. So, take the steps that it takes to make those healthy changes. Like you've done this so far, and you've been incorporating it. And you may have had some good days, some bad days, but try to make it an ongoing process where you're getting more and more good days, and to the point where it becomes almost a daily habit. And this is what you keep doing, and staying healthy. Let's see. And then the other thing is I don't know what kind of people you hang out with, but I'll give you an example. We find that we were finding that, we were trying to stay on a healthy way of eating. And every time we would go out cruising and sailing with our club, it was all it all seemed to be focused around, a lot of not necessarily the healthiest things to eat and a lot of drinking and things like that. And I was finding that I was getting into some bad habits. So I've tried to like steer away from, eating those things and just making sure I brought something healthy and whatever I was going to drink and use those. And it seemed to work. But sometimes I'd find that I'd fall back and say, you know what? Oh, what the heck? It's one night or one weekend. Well, then it's another weekend and then it's another weekend. And next thing you know, I'm back into bad habits again. So I have found that if there's certain situations that I know that I'm going to slip or, I either make sure I definitely bring something or I avoid certain situations. Our family, when we have family gatherings, everything seems to be centered around food. And I think I mentioned this in one of the other Zoom calls, is that the one Christmas that Ed and we hosted for our family that year, we made it all healthy food. They had to bring something healthy for dinner. It had to be lean and green or, low in calorie. And, and they did. And they're like, yeah, this was really good. It was easy. Because I said, we're not making this year about the food. We're making it about. And we had games and we had a lot of interactions, and it wasn't centered around food. It was around more the interaction and the social things, because we kept people busy rather than snacking on a lot of food before dinner, eating a long dinner, grazing for the next 3 hours at the table like you normally do, and whatever, come on, I see y'all smiling. We all do it, so it's like learning things that, what can we do instead? So, getting games or getting something where you're interacting or going for a walk after dinner or whatever, something that you change. But if there's situations that you're going to fall onto, like, the Super Bowl, then you need to plan, okay, if I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl with this group of friends and I know they always have lousy food there that I know I'm really not supposed to eat, it's not like, oh, well, it's only one game, because it's kind of like, well, it's only one drink for an alcoholic. It's only one, whatever, for another bad habit. Only one situation can turn the table. So again, you have to think of what your priorities are, and you can't always count on you just being strong and getting through it and say, okay, well then this is it. I'm not going to do it again. So bring something healthy or avoid a situation. So that's what they, kind of modeling, your lifestyle on what was really important to you. And that's what key is, you have to think of why you want to make changes in your life. Why is it so important, and what is the reason that you really want to make the changes in your life? And that is your focus. That is what you want to make important, so that you'll stick with those goals and you'll head towards them. Ed, why don't you tell them what your reason was for getting, why you wanted to lose weight and get healthy and exercise, and go ahead.
Well, I had quite a few reasons, but my real why is my grandson weighs in 7 months now.
6
months.
6.5 months, yeah.
And he doesn't know anything, and you start thinking about, okay, they really start picking up information when they're 5 or later. So 5 more years now push me into a later lifestyle. And if I'm not healthy, obviously I'll be the unhealthy blind grandfather over in the corner, and he will only remember that, gee, I don't know. I think I don't know too much about him. He just didn't do much. Just sat over in the corner because he couldn't see anything or interact, etc. So since I can't see him or react in that way, I can at least be healthy, because I don't have to have eyesight to give him piggyback rides or horsey rides or anything like that. So I plan on being around for a long time. And so if being healthy or there's somewhere, I think, in one of the memos on one of the other health diet or health conversation, they said for every 5 pounds that you lose or get closer to the American heart weight, you'll gain at least another year of life. That's sort of subject to everyone's interpretation, but the bottom line is, if you're carrying a bunch of weight around, it is impacting your body. Face it, if anyone's carried a field pack camping, a 20-pound to 40-pound pack for 15, 20 minutes, when you set it down, you feel pretty good, because that's a lot of weight taken off. Well, think about what you pack on your body for years. The minute it comes off, you feel great. That's why a lot of people feel so good, and we sort of forget about it. And then if we don't have the habit of staying healthy, it will just creep back on. You have to realize that it doesn't come on one night. And that's how we always rationalize stuff. Well, gee, just one night won't make a difference because, as Betty says, it's never just one. It's just the building, the domino effect on that. So my why was being able to enjoy my grandson.
So again, like I said, find out what your why is. If you have to write it down, if you have to put a picture up on the refrigerator so that you'll avoid things, or you'll get yourself up to exercise every day, put it next to your alarm clock. But figure out what your why is, why it's important, because that's what's going to be your driving force to stay towards a healthier goal. The other, looking at other habits. Weight is not just the only thing. Learning how to eat right is one part of getting healthy and part of the habits of health. But also, like I said, the water, getting your water in on make sure you get up in the morning and have at least 1 to 2 glasses of water first thing, and every couple of hours make sure you're drinking a glass of water to getting it down. So if you find that okay, well, I don't have time to go to the bathroom, well, after you start doing this enough, your body gets used to it. You start getting rid of the toxins, but you don't find that you have to run to the bathroom so often. So your body actually gets used to it, and you can filter it through and basically get your body trained as well. Healthy motion, like Ed was saying, getting active and everything, so that he'll be active for when our grandson is 5 and wants to run around and have fun with us. So getting your body mobile and moving, and not just the walking and the exercise there, but also doing the stretching. That part of it is just as important, because if you just do the walking and you're tensing your muscles and everything, then what happens is that those muscles tighten, and then you start getting more of the pain from that. So stretching is just as important as the exercise as well. Stress management, we talked a little bit to Terry, but getting into a regular, either learning how to meditate or the breathing or whatever, and practice it daily. I had gone to a course on meditation a long time ago, and this woman had learned this course when she was in a lot of pain, and she was allergic to a lot of the pain management medication. She'd been in an automobile accident, and she had horrific pain after, bones were set and everything like that. So she was left with a lot of chronic pain. So she went into this whole deep meditation mode. And so then she taught this course, because she was able to get rid of her pain just with meditation. And so she taught this course. And so I used to do it a lot. And I found that when I was working, and it was a crazy day, if I forced myself to go to the bathroom, say, because I don't have time to go to the bathroom, but I would go, and I'd go in there, and I would just sit and relax for just 2 minutes with the breathing and the meditation and the relaxation, and I found that if I could do that, I could get through the stress part of it, and it wasn't quite so bad. I found that by coming home at lunch when I was having a real bad day, and Ed and I would just vent and talk, go outside, walk along the dock, see the nice, the calm waters and everything like that, made a big difference. So incorporating things in your life where you do them on a regular basis, so that when a stress happens, your body automatically goes into this and lets it go. And whatever works, if it's a relaxing word, if it's just the breathing, closing your eyes for a minute before you ready to lose your temper or whatever you're going to do or say, let it go, walk away from her for a minute, and just let it. Those things really work. So that's something that you need to work on practice, so that it just comes automatically then when you need it. Sleep, another big one. And you don't realize this, but it impacts on everything. Not just weight. It's all part of the exercise, the stress reduction, things like that. But if you don't get a good night's sleep, and you might think you're sleeping because you went to bed at this time and you got up at this time and it was 8 hours or 7 hours. But if you wake up and you're yawning within a couple hours, you didn't get a good night's sleep. You didn't get the levels, of REM sleep that you should have. So probably what's happening is either you're having caffeine that's interacting later on, and even though you fell asleep, you're not getting that deep sleep. if you dream and you remember your dreams, vividly throughout the night or whatever, then you're probably not getting as deep sleep because you don't dream in your deepest level of sleep. You dream when you're first falling asleep and when you're coming more to wakefulness. That's when you dream. The deepest level of sleep you do not dream with. So those are things to think about. If you drink a lot of water before you go to bed and you're up going to the bathroom 3 or 4 times, you're not going to get 8 hours of deep sleep. Once is fine. You get up once, maybe twice at the most, but, try to maybe cut back on drinking water late in the evening. Use things like, scent just a hint of lavender in the room to keep it more of a peaceful room. Make sure the temperature is the right temperature. If, ideally you want to keep it, the temperature in the room on the cooler side because, and wear a comforter because you'll sleep where you're feeling you can maintain your body temperature, but the outside is still cool and circulating air. That's actually the best way to sleep. Now, it's kind of hard, great. It's probably great for Jen because, it's cooler up there, but if you have your heat on in your house, it's kind of like us in the summertime if we don't turn our air on. So it's, if you kind of try to keep it at a nice, comfortable temperature where it's a nice, easy, easy sleep, and you don't sweat or you don't freeze.
Yeah. Can I add in real quick?
Go ahead.
You guys are good. I'm not sure if you can.
Go ahead, Jen.
All right. Okay, sorry. Well, I was going to say, I know Chris is one of those people who likes to sleep with that kind of white noise, so he turns the fan on every night anyway. So it does kind of work. So yeah, we have the heat on, but there's still a fan going. It could be negative 25, but
Yeah.
I found it helpful to have the air circulating, and and he benefits from the sound, but it does definitely help to keep a cooler room. I can't sleep when it's hot.
Yeah, you get this air, you said the air
Yeah.
circulation. Yeah. Also, having a dark room. If you have blackout curtains, that works great. Putting an eye mask on, if you can sleep with one, and putting earplugs in. If you are somebody that, if the sound is going to wake you up, they do have very comfortable, soft, spongy little earplugs you can put in. So whatever works so that you get a restful sleep. You wake up feeling fresh and you go throughout your day without feeling like you're yawning and dragging and, it's possible you might have gotten a good night's sleep and there's something else going on, but if you're waking up yawning, then you probably didn't get a restful sleep then. And so that's something you want to look at. So all these things are habits you want to, like I said, we started with them during the challenge. Dr. Anderson did like pull out some of the most important points, but again, there's a lot more in-depth reading you can do with it. And the more you read, the more you're going to start thinking about it. So then the more you're going to start incorporating it into your lifestyle. Like I said, practicing is what's going to be the most important thing. We are doing this challenge again in the spring. So we get into our bathing suits by summer. But the key is that between challenges, if you're planning on going into the challenge again, the key is that, okay, well, I have between this challenge and the next one, it doesn't matter what I do. It's not that. It's, okay, let's see if I can maintain and continue doing what he's taught me and then reinforce it. And then when the next 6-week challenge comes again, you're already there and you can probably even go into the maintenance side. You don't have to do the 6% weight loss side. So, that's something that's a choice you have. But, again, you don't want to keep doing this start and stop yo-yoing thing. You want to try to have an impact on you and then keep learning and moving on from this. If you're having issues with your weight loss, and I am a health coach, I'd be glad to help and look at what you're doing to see if what is working for you, if I can give you some advice on things you can look at that might help, another program might help, or, but find something that's going to work for you that you'll stick with, and it won't be like, okay, well, I'll start again tomorrow, it's another day, and, oh, well, if it didn't work today, I might as well forget it for this week. We'll wait till Monday again. That's not a good program for you if you're not able to stick with it. So if you're doing a program and you're able to stick with it and you're able to get, eating every, 2 to 3 hours, low calorie meals, and the weight is coming off, it should be ideally, the 1 to 2 pounds a week is a good healthy weight loss. Again, in the beginning, it's usually more. Some people lose more in the beginning because they have a lot more to lose, or they had a lot, or there were major drastic change in how they're eating at this point. But generally, a healthy weight loss is generally anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds for a woman and 2 to 4 pounds for a man. sorry, women, they lose it quicker. I hate it, but that's the way it is. So, but you know, it's still a healthy way to lose, and more importantly is when you lose it that way, you'll keep it off. Again, incorporating the changes in your dietary eating as well. So, but if you are having issues, contact me. This is your chance for your, you know, use of a coach for these 6 weeks here. So, unless you actually join our program, then you get me for free all the time. So, any comments, questions, any tidbits people want to add here at this point? Jump right in.
Gary's doing a good job.
Yeah, I see your post, Gary.
Gary's doing a good job.
Yeah, we saw Gary at our recent meeting together, and you look awesome, Gary. You're trying to compete with Ed here. Both of them are at their ideal body weights here, I think. If you're not there, Gary, you look pretty close. Do people know what their ideal body weight should be? If you don't, there's an assessment test on. It's on the page. It's on our team page, I think, where it talks about it's my site where it's I Choose Optimal Health. It's boatbaybetty.ichooseoptimalhealth.com, and you can go on there. And at the bottom of the page, when it opens, you can go on and find out what your BMI should be, or where you are rather, where your BMI is, and what your weight, you know, ideally should be, and because it shows a chart. And then there's also an assessment test, and it goes through all the different habits. So there's 5 different tests you take. It's like a 1-page for each one, and you get a score at the end, and it'll tell you where you are as far as whether you're optimal healthy, whether you're sub-healthy, whether you're like poor health, or you're in a disease state or ready for a disease state. So it's kind of interesting to see where you might be, and you know where you can make some room for improvement. So if you need that, I can post that on. It actually, I think it's on our team page. So if not, but I can post it on one of the reading thing or the team page blog here. So all right, any final words here going into this last week? I like how you guys are really are commenting on the team page, and you're encouraging each other too. That's been great. I think that's it's very helpful. You know, because I think, you know, it shouldn't just come from me. It comes from as a team, because we're all helping each other, and I like that people do that. You know, and it's very encouraging. So, and if you're having issues or struggles, you know, put it out there for the team here and see where we can help, where we can go to help people. All right. Anything else, Ann? Anything else? All right. Well, everybody have a great week, and get close. If you're not at your goal, you got the week to get close to it if you can. If not, you know, again, we're going to continue this on even after this. You don't want to lose it. Just continue on the momentum and work for it. You know, by the time we get to the next challenge, you'll be there, or hopefully be close to there. So. Okay, have a great week, and if you have any questions or concerns, give me a call or text me or whatever, and we'll talk. I am going to try to contact all of you before the end of the week, because I do like to do a follow-up thing at the end. So, but certainly give me a call. Certainly give me a call if you have questions before that. Good night, everybody.
Bye, Betty. Bye, Ed. Bye, everyone.